He transmigrated into a web novel, reborn as the ultimate and most overpowered villain. His family doesn't just own a business. They run a million-year-old empire, and he's got 5 fiercely protective, insanely powerful older sisters. Yet, the original owner of this body was somehow a complete and total loser, a simp who did nothing but worship the very ground the female lead walked on. And after 3 years of his non-stop devotion, it only took that same female lead 2.5 minutes to get cozy with the protagonist. In the original plot, she was led straight to a hotel by that guy, throwing away years of loyalty in an instant. And after all that, she even had the audacity to publicly announce that the villain couldn't give her what she really wanted. The absolute nerve, standing on the campus stadium, just after sorting through these new memories, our main character's brain nearly short-circuited. His family is the #1 powerhouse in the entire Dragon Nation. And he has 5 ridiculously influential sisters who absolutely adore their little brother. He couldn't help but think, bro, you have 5 goddesses at home. Why on earth were you so hung up on Lily Vance? Sure, she's pretty, but not ruin your entire life pretty. Besides, he knows from the original story that not only were those 5 sisters incredible to the original owner, but there was also a villainess, Scarlet Sterling, who was secretly and completely in love with him. After finally accepting his new reality as a transmigrator, he just had to laugh out loud. In his past life, he was a total corporate slave. It took him half his life just to get a car, a house, and a girlfriend. And all it took was one distracted work call before a concrete mixer sent him to the afterlife, yeeting his soul straight into this world. So he quickly laid out his master plan. Stay far away from the naive female lead and the boring protagonist, quietly build his wealth, and enjoy the perfect life with the real prize, the villainous Scarlet. He'd gone from a bottom-tier worker to being born at the finish line. But first things first, he had to deal with the immediate Lily Vance problem. Looking around, he realized he was on the very stage the original owner had set up to confess his feelings to Lily. And right on cue, Lily bluntly rejected him, just like she always did. She hit him with the classic, "I don't want to date right now." She told him to wait until after she graduated college, the legendary 1-2 punch. And then can we still be friends? Hearing that, he could only scoff, friends. Yeah, right, with a manipulative girl who showed her true colors after knowing the hero for less than half a month. So he just nodded and said, "Sure thing, Lily." She froze, completely blindsided that he'd agree so easily for once. She was almost jumping for joy, thinking she was free from his annoying confessions, but could still keep him on the hook as her personal wallet. But his next sentence made her freeze up completely. But let's skip the friends part. How about we just delete each other's contacts? The smile on Lily's face instantly shattered. She never actually planned on cutting ties with her ATM. Deleting his contact left her utterly speechless. She should have been thrilled. But in her mind, she still expected him to pay for her tuition and living costs for all 4 years of college. She figured this was just another routine rejection. But little did she know, her premium, long-term meal ticket was growing legs and walking away for good. Panicked, she quickly blurts out, "No, wait, that's not what I meant, we can still." But he just met her words with a cold, mocking smile, watching her panic. "You might want that, but I don't," he states. In the adult world, the absence of a yes is a definite no. Let's just end it here. From now on, we should go our separate ways and we'll mind our own business. Then he turned to leave. But seeing him actually walk away, Lily went into a full-blown panic. She yells, "What do you mean it's a no? You're just too impatient. If you confess again, I definitely won't say yes." But he kept walking, not missing a beat. That's when she anxiously blurted out the real reason. "Wait, what about my tuition and living expenses?" Now, our MC new female leads in these stories can be dense, but her sheer shamelessness was still shocking. Truly jaw-dropping, he stopped dead in his tracks, looking at her with disbelief. Right then, he could feel the original owner's sheer frustration. simping for 3 long years. And getting absolutely nowhere. The original guy must have had a screw loose. What was even more insane were the gawking bystanders. They were actually. Unbelievably, they were taking her side. Some even muttered that even if they weren't friends, he still owed her the money. They had known each other for 3 years after all. He shouldn't be so heartless, they said. Hearing this garbage, his blood pressure spiked. Suddenly, Lily's best friend, Vanessa, stormed up to him. She was, of course, a huge fangirl of the original hero. She screamed right at him, "What's your deal? Are you seriously not paying for Lily's tuition and living expenses anymore? You promised." Suddenly, his anger disappeared. It wasn't because he wasn't mad. It was because he'd hit a new level of calm, chilling rage. He knew arguing with these NPCs would be pointless, so he replied coldly, "She and I are strangers now. So why on earth should I pay her bills? Is that my legal duty? If you guys care so much, then you all can pay for her. There are so many of you, everyone. Pitching in a few dollars should cover it, yeah, or are you telling me you don't even have that much?" Now it was Vanessa's turn to panic. "You promised. How can you break your promise? I don't care what you say, you owe Lily money. You're paying today. If you don't want to, too bad, you still have to." He slowly clenched his fists and let out an ice-cold laugh. "All right then, let me ask Lily a simple question. Over these past 3 years, how many gifts exactly have I given you? Just the designer bags alone cost hundreds of thousands, and we haven't even gotten to the jewelry or the straight-up cash. I wasn't going to make a big deal of this, but how about we look at it this way? I gave you those gifts to court you. Since you're rejecting me, hand them all back. They're not your property anymore." The moment those words left his mouth, the color drained from Lily's face. She never expected him to make this move. And the crowd was just as shocked. They couldn't believe he'd dropped so much of thousands just on bags for her. To your average college student, that number was a mind-blowing, astronomical figure. What really stunned them, though, was the fact that Lily had accepted all those crazy expensive gifts, but still refused to be his girlfriend. The same crowd that defended her just seconds ago, completely silent, Lily stammered out, claiming that she sold every single gift to pay for her family's debts, but Vanessa couldn't hold back and shrieked, "What's that supposed to mean? You gave away those gifts, and now you want them back. Didn't you practically beg Lily to take them in the first place?" She asked if he'd return gifts if she refused him, mocking the very idea. Does a gift mean she has to accept you? How ridiculous. Even if you gave her millions, our Lily would take it and reject you, so what are you gonna do? Without a moment's pause, Tristan raised his hand and slapped Vanessa clean across the face. The smack echoed. The crowd went completely silent. Lily gasped, shocked he would actually resort to violence. Tears welling up, Vanessa screamed in pure fury, "Tristan Locke, this isn't over." "You just wait," Tristan just sneered at her. "Make me regret it. Vanessa, do you have any idea who I am? My father is a major shareholder of this entire university. He donates a fortune yearly. Even the principal has to show me respect. I'd love to see you try." Those words landed on Vanessa and Lily like a ton of bricks. Vanessa was stunned speechless, all her fighting spirit gone in an instant. She was starting to realize picking a fight with this man was a massive mistake. Tristan continued his ice-cold speech. "Your family runs a breakfast shop, doesn't it, Vanessa? Starting tomorrow, my guys will be standing right outside your door. For every single customer that shows up, I'll pay them double to eat at the shop next door. Let's just see how long your family business can last on zero income." The crowd gasped. A power play this blatant was terrifying. You could see people already calculating, thinking about taking a short walk to Vanessa's shop just to get paid for breakfast somewhere else. Free food plus extra cash, an absolute no-brainer. Vanessa's face turned ghostly white. She hadn't grasped how serious this was. If he really did that, her family's shop was finished in less than a month. With that thought, pure panic took over. The sting from the slap was forgotten. She began begging him. "Okay, I was wrong. Please don't do this. I'll do anything you want, just leave my parents' breakfast shop alone. I'll kneel if you want me to. At the end of the day, Vanessa was just a background character used to bullying the old Tristan. She had totally forgotten about his status as a mega-rich heir. He didn't reply. He just gave her a bone-chilling stare. That's when Lily stepped in to play the hero. That's enough, Tristan. I'm warning you, if you hurt Vanessa, I will never speak to you again. Not for the rest of my life, and I won't let you bring me breakfast anymore either. If this were the original owner of his body, that threat would have crushed him. But a new soul was at the wheel now. Hearing her words, Tristan nearly burst out laughing. Incredible. That's a buy one, get one free deal. Seeing him so happy, Lily was completely baffled. Are you insane? Did you hear what I said? I'm cutting you off completely. If you do this, I will ignore you forever, understand, for the rest of your life. He waved a hand dismissively. No need to shout. My ears work just fine, and please keep that promise. I fully support you staying away from me for the rest of your life. With that, he calmly glanced past Vanessa, ready to leave without giving her another thought. That's when Vanessa truly started to panic. Tristan, wait. You're not really going to destroy my parents' shop, are you? You can't, I'm begging you. I was wrong. She thought Lily's intervention would be her trump card, but she never expected this. Tristan to be so ruthless. Desperate, she suddenly lunged forward and hugged his leg. He stared down at Vanessa, clinging to him like a barnacle. Get your filthy hands off me, but Vanessa stubbornly refused. No, I won't let go unless you promise not to touch my shop. And right on cue, the novel's protagonist, Damian Stone, parted the crowd to make his grand entrance. Seeing him, Lily and Vanessa's eyes lit up instantly. Vanessa immediately let go of Tristan's leg and ran right over to Damian, who offered her a confident main character smile. Don't be afraid, let him throw his tantrum. I'll handle this matter to the very end. Just one simple sentence, and suddenly Vanessa had found her savior. She gazed up at Damian with total adoration. You're amazing, Damian. I'm counting on you. She then turned to glare back at Tristan, smirking. So what if you have money? With Damian here, you are nothing, Tristan. Lily also stepped closer, her face full of worry. Damian, do you have a plan? Tristan's family is very rich. Maybe I should go talk to him again. She was acting all concerned that Damian would become his target. But Damian, he was practically overflowing with confidence. And this confidence came from the system he had just acquired. A system that had just issued him a crucial quest, make breakfast. In just a few days, he would reach the level of a master chef. And his breakfast would undeniably attract hordes of customers. Plot armor at its absolute finest. As soon as Damian finished his heroic speech, Tristan walked straight up to him. He calmly asked, so you're handling Vanessa's problem? Great. Then the money Lily owes me, I assume you'll be paying that off for her, too, right? That one question made Vanessa and Lily turn ghost white. Damian stammered, his confident facade cracking. He awkwardly searched for words. He had only just gotten the system. His pockets were currently holding more dust than dollars. He asked nervously, what money does Lily owe you? Weren't all those things you gave her completely voluntary? Deep down, he knew perfectly well that Lily accepted countless gifts from the original Tristan. And yet, the guy never even managed to hold her hand. Tristan just smiled brightly. It's true that I gave most of those gifts voluntarily, but Lily actively borrowed money from me a few times. Not much, just a little over 100 grand. Since you're so eager to play the hero, I am sure you would be thrilled to help Lily clear her debts, right? Hearing this, Damian couldn't help but glance at Lily. Is that true? Lily looked incredibly awkward. She had, in fact, borrowed money from him. At the time, she claimed a relative had been in a car crash and needed emergency funds. Tristan had generously lent it to her, and she assumed he wouldn't care, so she conveniently forgot all about it. Hearing the confirmation, Damian suddenly swelled with righteous fury. It is just a little over 100 grand, right? I will pay Lily's debt for her. Tristan immediately whipped out a pen and paper, handing it to him. Since you promised to help her, signing an IOU shouldn't be too much to ask, right? Damian looked cornered, but to protect his ego in front of the girls, he gritted his teeth and signed it. Tristan stood right beside him, tapping the paper. Where is the date? If you don't write down a due date, when exactly are you planning to pay? Are 2 months enough? Vanessa just could not stand it anymore and shrieked, Tristan, stop being so unreasonable. We're all college students. Where is he supposed to get that much money in 2 months? You're doing this on purpose. Tristan barely suppressed the urge to backhand her again and replied coldly, this money's been owed for over 2 years. I haven't even charged interest. Am I supposed to wait decades for it? An IOU needs a date. I'm already being incredibly generous, otherwise pay up right now. At that, Vanessa and Lily shut up instantly, terrified he'd make Damian empty his empty pockets on the spot. But Damian, putting his blind faith in his system, declared, fine, 2 months it is. After Damian signed the IOU, Tristan turned and left. Sticking around these people was actively lowering his IQ. Seeing him leave, Damian let out a massive sigh of relief. He had originally planned to throw out some sarcastic taunts to provoke an attack. But he didn't expect Tristan to be so chillingly rational. Lily couldn't help but say, Damian, you shouldn't have to work this hard. Let me go talk to Tristan and tell him to write off that 100 grand. Then you won't have to pay. Damian immediately stopped her. No need, don't worry, Lily, I'll take care of it. As the protagonist, his fragile male ego couldn't accept the woman he liked being involved with a villain like Tristan. Seeing he was getting upset, Lily nodded obediently. Okay, I trust you. I'll listen to whatever you say, Damian. Her cute, submissive act completely hooked Damian. If Tristan had been there, his eyes would have rolled so hard he'd be checking out his own brain. Soon enough, the news of his breakup with Lily spread like wildfire across the university. Everyone was gossiping that Lily must be regretting it big time, since she had clearly wanted to keep him around as a personal ATM, only for Tristan to brutally cut the cord. Hearing this, Vanessa fiercely fired back. Who says Lily regrets it? Let me tell you, our Lily doesn't regret a single thing. She's thrilled Tristan finally broke up with her. Meanwhile, the entire university had received an open invitation to his party. He had completely rented out the Rose Bar for everyone to party for free. Of course, Damian, Lily, and Vanessa were explicitly uninvited. When the trio heard the news, they gritted their teeth in sheer jealousy, especially Lily. Back when it was her birthday, Tristan had also rented out an entire venue, bought a customized 7-tier cake worth tens of thousands, and gifted her a designer dress, treating her like absolute royalty. As Lily was walking with Vanessa, her phone buzzed. It was a text from Damian. Lily, are you free tonight? Let me treat you to dinner. Let's go get some fried noodles. Vanessa, reading over her shoulder, squealed, oh my gosh, Lily, you're so lucky. Damian is taking you out for fried noodles. What are you hesitating for? You'd be an absolute fool not to go. Lily reluctantly agreed, but deep down, her heart was wavering, especially when Vanessa insisted on tagging along as a third wheel, making her incredibly annoyed. Vanessa claimed she wanted to ask Damian about her family's breakfast shop situation. But since Lily liked Damian, she wasn't about to let her friend try and steal him right from under her nose. Perhaps influenced by Tristan's recent actions, Lily was starting to find Vanessa seriously grating. She thought to herself, why are you even coming? Was Vanessa trying to be a giant light bulb or something? But for friendship's sake. And since she and Damian weren't official, Lily swallowed her bitter thoughts and just kept her mouth shut. Meanwhile, at the Rose Bar, the main character was chilling in his VIP booth, just watching everyone else go completely wild. He threw this party simply because he wanted to taste the simple pleasure of being obscenely wealthy. But on the flip side, at a dirty street stall, the brutal heat from the cooking fire was making Lily miserable. The fried noodles in front of her were steaming, but in this sweltering heat, her appetite was completely gone. Her hair stuck right to her sweaty forehead. Damian, ever the attentive one, placed more meat into her bowl and asked softly, "Is it good? Their fried noodles are top tier." The old Lily would have flashed a huge smile and said, "It's delicious. You have the best taste, Damian, but the Lily of right now." She just felt like an absolute moron, sitting next to a roaring gas stove, eating hot noodles in the middle of a killer heat wave. What a joke. It didn't help that Vanessa was practically inhaling her meal, constantly praising Damian's choice of this amazing spot. Lily just wanted her eyes to roll into another universe. As for the main character, after sampling the Rose Bar's atmosphere, he decided to leave early. He slid into his Rolls-Royce Cullinan and headed straight for Heaven on Earth, the most luxurious restaurant right in the city's commercial heart. The average price, tens of thousands. As his Cullinan glided past, pedestrians on the street just had to stop and stare in total awe. And sitting at that dingy street stall, Lily recognized it. That was the exact Rolls-Royce she used to ride in all the time. A wave of indescribable bitterness just washed over her. Damian followed her gaze and knew right away whose car that was, but the main character was completely oblivious to them. The car drove smoothly into the VIP underground parking of the restaurant. If Lily hadn't seen it, maybe she'd be fine. But after seeing it, the plate of cheap noodles in front of her tasted like absolute cardboard. Seeing her miserable expression, Damian stood up and dramatically started dragging Lily and Vanessa toward Heaven on Earth to prove a point. While driving, our main character suddenly recalled a plot point from the original novel. Damian's first major step-up was all thanks to a system quest. He was told to buy a rundown, abandoned building in some remote area. It was so dilapidated and far out, it only cost a few $100,000. But a few months later, that same area was rezoned as a premium school district. Its value skyrocketed from a few $100,000 to over $2 million. Damian sold it and just like that, made his first massive fortune. But now that our guy knew the whole script, there was no way he was letting that happen. He was going to buy that rundown building before Damian even had a chance. And not just that building, he was going to buy every single surrounding property up for sale. If they're playing a game, he was going to play for keeps. He would block every single path the original protagonist had. Just picturing Damian clutching his pathetic few $100,000, running to complete his system quest, only to find out he can't afford a single brick. Pure cinematic gold. Wasn't exactly his top priority. He'd just gotten a second shot at life with this god-tier background, so enjoying it came first. Eating this incredible food simply wasn't enough. He was going on a shopping spree. His inner shopaholic was practically screaming to be let out. In his past life, reading or watching movies, he'd always dreamed of walking into a boutique and just pointing, saying, "I'll take it all." Back then, buying a small item for a few bucks at the store required complex calculations to make sure he wouldn't starve by the end of the month. But now he could swipe the card until it melted. He had hundreds of thousands in his allowance account alone, and even if he blew it all, who cares? He could just ask his family for more. According to the original plot, Tristan's family was insanely rich, but to chase Lily, the original owner of this body, constantly refused their money. He even fought with his own parents, leaving them clueless as to why their son insisted on earning his own pennies when his allowance was basically a small country's GDP. The reason for all this: Lily once mentioned she was into self-reliant guys, and that building a career from nothing was the true sign of a man. So a literal billionaire heir took a part-time job handing out flyers, all to get Lily to see him differently. And the result, zero, absolutely nothing. Realizing the sheer stupidity of it all, he immediately decided to go home and make peace. But before that, he needed to buy them some gifts. So he took his guys, Bruno and Tyson, and headed straight for the luxury district. Halfway there, however, he turned his head and saw Damian, Lily, and Vanessa, of all people, standing outside some cheap street stall. He watched them eat their street food, chuckled to himself, ignored them, and just kept walking. But those three, they were not feeling so calm. Damian tried to keep his cool, tough guy act together, ready for a fight. Vanessa was muttering curses, but Lily, she felt a sharp pang of loss. Her mind was racing. Why didn't Tristan come over here when he saw me? Shouldn't he be jealous? Shouldn't he march over here and demand to take me home? To be ignored like this was just too much. She decided she'd never speak to him again. Lily felt completely slighted. Tristan had never once treated her like this. Deep down, she knew that if he had come over, she would have just stayed with Damian to prove a point anyway. But still, having him fight for her would have at least satisfied her vanity. To be completely ignored like this really stung her pride. And what's more, she honestly missed riding in his Rolls-Royce. Why did she ditch a luxury car with AC and amazing food just to sweat it out at a street stall with Damian? Was she an idiot for choosing the hardcore difficulty when she could have been playing life on easy mode? Tried to feel better thinking that Damian would definitely be rich and successful one day. That helped a little, but the bitter feeling just wouldn't go away. But what really shocked Damian and Lily was that Tristan wasn't surrounded by girls. His only companions were his two bodyguards. This revelation completely fried Lily's brain. How could that be, a rich heir like him, and he isn't mobbed by beauties? She always had a biased, classic female lead view of his rich boy persona. But while she was busy feeling sorry for herself, he was out there living his absolute best life. At the luxury mall, under the adoring gazes of the staff, he just waved his hand and bought a mountain of designer bags. Handing them to Bruno and Tyson was a pure flex. The associates knew exactly how terrifyingly rich his family was. They had definitely seen wealthy clients before, but no one shopped with his level of zero hesitation. Absolutely none. A handsome young heir buying Birkins like they were cabbages, they practically fell over themselves, using their sweetest voices to introduce new products. Some even tried to slip him their numbers, but he rejected every single one. Leaving the mall loaded with bags, he remembered he couldn't forget his sisters. So off he went to more boutiques. Walking past a toy store, he noticed the toys in this world were completely new to him, yet massively popular. It sparked an idea. Franchises like Transformers or Ultraman would make an absolute killing in this world. So many legendary movies and shows from his original world just didn't seem to exist here either. Realizing this, he saw infinite potential for making money. And suddenly he felt the urge to build an empire. Meanwhile, Lily, Damian, and Vanessa had subconsciously been following him. Vanessa still wore that bitter expression. Hung up on him, threatening her breakfast shop, but she just kept telling herself Damian would fix everything. She kept on bootlicking Damian, who was just upholding his protagonist aura. He smiled with absolute confidence. If this were the original Lily, she would have felt proud of Damian. But right now, Vanessa's constant brown-nosing just pissed her off. She wanted to scream, "You're doing way too much, Vanessa." But to save face, Lily just sighed internally, wondering, what is Tristan buying all of that for? Right then, Vanessa seemed to read her mind. "Lily, did you see that?" she whispered. Tristan's clearly panicking. Lily was taken aback. "What do you mean by that?" Even Damian looked curious. Vanessa analyzed with confidence. "Think about it, dummy. We saw him buying gifts last night, right? Now he's buying designer bags and all these bracelets. He is obviously buying you apology gifts. Or have you forgotten how many bags and jewelry pieces he used to shower you with in the past?" Hearing this, a light bulb went off inside Lily's head. That's right. Every time Tristan had given her a gift, he wandered through high-end stores just like this. A sudden thrill of excitement bubbled up inside her. If Tristan really was buying these gifts to apologize, she might just forgive him, a little. She desperately hoped Vanessa was right, but then she realized Damian was standing right next to her. She couldn't let him get jealous, so she quickly put on an act. "Even if he wants to apologize with gifts, I will not accept them. He went too far with my best friend and made Damian owe him money. I will absolutely not forgive him." She arrogantly tilted her chin up. Vanessa was absolutely thrilled. She raised her drink. "Haha, that's my best friend. Cheers." Damian felt a rush of immense satisfaction. As long as the woman beside him was obedient and loyal, his ego was perfectly stroked. At that moment, he made a silent vow to himself. "Tristan Locke, for what you did to me today, I will repay you tenfold." Damian had fully marked Tristan as his nemesis. He believed Tristan couldn't let Lily go. To better protect Lily, Damian resolved to work even harder. For the next few days, he would go to Vanessa's breakfast shop to learn the business and complete his first system quest. He knew this was step one to his empire. With the system, failing was impossible. A guy with cheat codes losing, nonsense. Damian was overflowing with confidence. Confidence restored. After an epic shopping spree, Tristan, Bruno, and Tyson jumped into the Rolls-Royce and headed for home. But this whole scene was witnessed. By that trio, Vanessa scoffed, but Lily was just completely dumbfounded. Tristan bought all those things without even a single glance my way. He just left. Why isn't this playing out like Vanessa said? If those gifts weren't for me, then who are they for? Does he like someone else? Did he really move on that fast? Lily felt a sudden spike of jealousy and rage, thinking Tristan was being completely unreasonable. Ironically, though, her opinion of Damian actually improved a little. Compared to Damian's loyalty, Tristan was just a jerk. Meanwhile, Damian was glad Tristan hadn't come over to stir up trouble. It gave him precious time to build his strength. He knew all he needed was a little more time to flip the game board. Vanessa predictably stopped saying the gifts were for Lily. Tristan's mood, on the other hand, was fantastic. He bought presents for his 5 sisters and didn't forget his parents either. In this life, he decided he would completely reconcile with his family. He wasn't going to be a stubborn fool like his past self. Honestly, having a cheat code and still choosing the hard path is peak stupidity. The original Tristan was born into unbelievable wealth, but got brainwashed by Lily's whole self-made success speech. Our protagonist had suffered enough as a corporate slave in his past life. If someone told him he had a billionaire dad, mansions, sports cars, and an entire empire waiting, he would cry tears of absolute joy. He still couldn't figure out why his past self was so obsessed with Lily. The city was packed with beautiful women. And with the Locke family's power, couldn't he have his pick of anyone? Walking into the Locke family mansion, he was struck completely speechless by the pure opulence. Before he could even manage a word, an elegant woman with her hair in a bun hurried out. "My baby Tristan is home. Come here, Mom will peel you an apple." This was the original owner's mother, Margaret Locke. Even though she was nearly 50, she was impeccably maintained and radiated aristocratic grace. He calmly asked, "Mom, where's Dad?" "Your father is in his study," Margaret replied. Tristan headed straight for Theodore Locke's study. Pushing open the door, he found him looking exactly as the book described. Slightly graying hair, a sharp suit, casually reading the newspaper. "Dad, I need some spending money." Theodore froze solid, slowly lowering his paper to stare at him in total shock. "Son, didn't you say you'd never want our money? Are you in trouble? Wait, is this money for that Lily Vance girl?" Theodore held absolutely zero good feelings for Lily. Tristan immediately shut it down. "No, I'm done chasing after Lily Vance." Theodore was stunned. Margaret, who had just walked in with an apple, dropped it in pure shock. She rushed over. "Tristan, are you telling the truth?" He nodded calmly. "Yes, Mom, 100% truth." After securing the funds from his parents, he headed out. He knew exactly what was coming next. Damian was on his way to Vanessa's shop to finish his quest and grab his first major score. Of course, Tristan had no intention of letting him succeed. He sent Bruno and Tyson to handle it, because right now, the most important woman to him was Scarlet Sterling. The next morning, Scarlet heard the news that Tristan had broken up with Lily. She was slumped over her desk, resting her face on her arms, just idly spinning a pen. She thought, what is Tristan thinking? Did he really give up on Lily? Does that mean I finally have a chance? I'm so jealous of Lily. A guy like Tristan followed her for 3 years. In the classroom, Lily just sat in a daze while her friend Vanessa consoled her. Lily, forget it. Damian is 100 times better than Tristan. You have his attention now, and that's all that matters. Tristan isn't even bothering you anymore. You should be happy. These words managed to soothe Lily's bruised ego. She told herself, that's right, Damian will be incredibly successful. But right then, the whole class erupted in whispers as Tristan walked in carrying a steaming hot breakfast. Whoa, young Master Locke brought breakfast for Lily again. What is happening? I heard he cut ties with her yesterday. Haha, I knew it. He chased her for 3 years. He can't just let go that easily. From her corner, Scarlet saw this and her eyes dimmed with disappointment. She sighed to herself, he's still so whipped for her. She buried her head lower, only her bright eyes peeking out at him. Why can't a guy that handsome be mine? It's so annoying, she gritted her teeth. Lily, seeing all this, couldn't help but let out a smug smile. Perfect. Tristan hasn't given up on me. She almost stood to take the breakfast from him, but then she reconsidered. Sitting up perfectly straight and eagerly waiting for him to bring it over. She decided not to be cold this time. She would give him a sweet smile as a thank you. Vanessa looked on, amused, while the rest of the class watched in silence, waiting for the drama. As Tristan walked past Lily, her lips parted slightly, the thank you ready on the tip of her tongue. But he didn't stop, he walked straight past her. The entire class froze. They watched as he went straight to the back row, stopping right at Scarlet. Under her completely shocked gaze, he held out the food. Scarlet, I got you breakfast. Eat it while it's hot. Scarlet's heart hammered in her chest as she stared blankly, completely unable to believe this was real. The crowd's eyes were practically bugging out, shocked by the insane plot twist. As for Lily, her brain basically imploded. Her shock was 10 times worse than Scarlet's. Tristan is giving breakfast to another woman. A huge wave of indignation washed over her. That breakfast was supposed to be hers. Her mind flashed back to the countless times he had brought her breakfast. It was something she'd always taken for granted, which eventually became an annoyance. His constant presence used to get on her nerves. But now that he stopped, she absolutely couldn't stand it. You promised you would love me forever, but now you've abandoned me. How could you be so cruel? Lily felt increasingly wronged, tears welling in her eyes as she watched him standing in front of Scarlet. Her deluded mind immediately painted them as some sickeningly sweet couple. Unable to take it anymore, she almost jumped out of her seat to confront them. Meanwhile, Scarlet's face was as red as a tomato. Her wide eyes stared in absolute awe at the man she had secretly loved for 3 years. She still couldn't process that this sweet breakfast was actually for her. Tristan, is this really for me? She asked cautiously. He set the food down and then took the seat right next to her. That simple action sent Scarlet's heart into total overdrive. It felt like it was about to burst from her chest. I'm the eldest daughter of the Sterling family, she reminded herself, desperately trying to maintain her cool. But the overwhelming joy and sweetness almost made her lose control. It took her a long moment to accept reality. This happiness had come too suddenly. Did Tristan reject Lily because of me? Scarlet's mind raced with possibilities, but she quickly shut it down, remembering how hopelessly devoted Tristan was. There's no way he's over her that fast, she whispered. Thank you, Tristan. If Scarlet's usual crowd of elite friends saw this, their jaws would drop to the floor. Scarlet was notoriously fierce and independent. One of her glares was normally enough to send chills down anyone's spine. With fiery red hair and flawless makeup, she radiated total queen energy. Yet in front of Tristan, she was just docile. A kitten, Scarlet fell silent after that. Her mind went completely blank as she just mechanically picked up the pork bun and soy milk he had bought. Normally, she would complain about greasy street food, but today, this tasted like heaven. A Michelin star meal. Besides, she'd skipped breakfast, so this didn't just fill her stomach, it filled her heart. Watching Scarlet act so adorable, Tristan felt just as hyped. He seriously wanted to scream at this body's original owner. This edgy, adorable girl was right here, and he ignored her to chase after Lily. Was he blind? Tristan tilted his head just watching her. She kept her gaze down, nibbling the bun. Her red hair cascaded over her shoulders, her big eyes darting around nervously. Sensing his gaze, she blushed harder, panicking and refusing to make eye contact. They sat in this cute standoff until she finally couldn't take it anymore. She peeked up at him, asking softly, "What is it, Tristan?" Right then, there was no trace of a villainess. She was just an adorable girl in love. He flashed a bright smile. "Nothing, just thinking you look really cute when you eat." And instantly, Scarlet went full-on tomato mode. Her face was so red it was practically steaming. She didn't argue, just buried her face and kept attacking the bun. The rest of the class was still processing the morning's intense drama. Lily bit her lip, looking absolutely miserable. The breakfast was quickly demolished. Scarlet sipped her soy milk quietly. Tristan didn't say much else either. And no matter how much Lily sulked, there was nothing she could do. Morning classes flew by, but Scarlet didn't hear a single word. She was too busy wondering if she should ask him out. His behavior today had completely shaken her, but she hesitated, unsure if he was truly over Lily. She feared that if he was just using her to make Lily jealous, she would end up looking like a total clown. The thought made her pout, sitting there dazed and looking unbelievably adorable. On the other hand, Lily's mind was a complete mess. Has Tristan really stopped chasing me? She just refused to accept it. Vanessa chimed in again. Lily, stop worrying. I bet Tristan is just faking it. Faking what? Lily played the innocent girl perfectly. Vanessa analyzed the situation like a pro. Think about it. We saw him buying gifts last night, right? And today, he's ignoring you to give breakfast to that Scarlet girl. Since when did he get close to Scarlet? He's obviously just trying to make you jealous. Vanessa's logic was a revelation for Lily. She's right. He was obsessed with me for 3 years. He can't just stop overnight. He's definitely just throwing a tantrum. So you think he'll keep pursuing me? Lily's face brightened. Duh, Vanessa replied. He was your lapdog for 3 years. He wouldn't quit for no reason. Don't worry, Lily. Besides, you have Damian now. Even if Tristan stops chasing you, who cares? Lily's smile faltered for a second. Damian, she thought. For a moment, deciding Damian was probably still the better option. She continued daydreaming, but just couldn't stop herself from looking back at Tristan. Seeing him chat and laugh with Scarlet just made her blood boil. What a jerk, trying to make her jealous by flirting with another girl. She felt completely wronged again. He sat right next to Scarlet, smiling. He lined in, "Scarlet, are you free tonight? Let me take you out." Scarlet blinked in surprise. Dinner, why so suddenly? She clearly didn't get it yet. I have some homework I don't get, and I was hoping you could tutor me. Are you free? He came up with a smooth excuse. Scarlet thought it over. Oh, I see. I'm free, but if we're eating out, it's my treat. You already bought me breakfast today, after all. Thanks, Tristan, I'm actually really happy, but he pushed on. It's fine. Besides studying, I actually have some important business I wanted to discuss with you. That evening, at the fancy elite Divine Zenith restaurant, Tristan and Scarlet sat inside a private dining room. His plan was to bring her aboard his money-making express. Scarlet, I have some insider info, he began. A plot of land in Cloud City is about to be rezoned into a premium school district. I want to invite you to join me. Care to co-invest? Scarlet looked stunned for a moment, then slowly replied, Really, Tristan? How much do you need from me? Her complete lack of hesitation was shocking. He laughed. I'm planning on dropping 10 million. How much can you put in? Scarlet didn't even flinch. If the information is from you, I'll dump my entire allowance into it. 50 million, I'll transfer it all to you. You can handle the rest. I trust you. Hearing she had 50 million just lying around as pocket money, Tristan had to take a deep breath. Thinking back to the original owner's dumb actions, he couldn't help but roast the guy in his head. Tristan, you absolute clown. You had this perfect queen ready to support you, and you ditched her for Lily. A rich heiress wasn't good enough for you. Having her on his side literally skips 30 years of hard work. Looking at her sweet smile, he asked seriously, Scarlet, you trust me that much? She just laughed. Of course, even if we lose everything, it doesn't matter. If you need more, just say the word. I can get it from my family. That's enough, that's more than enough, he said quickly. Thank you, Scarlet. I promise we are going to make a huge profit from this. As they got friendlier, Scarlet completely loosened up. Tristan, don't worry. If anyone messes with you from now on, you just come to me. I'll take care of them for you. I'm not to be taken lightly. Or even better, you can be my underling. This dinner was the best meal he'd had in a very long time. After leaving the restaurant, they went their separate ways. Back at home, just as he was about to relax, a friend request notification popped up. It was from Lily Vance. He smirked. All right, let's just accept and see what this female lead is planning now. The second he accepted, her first message appeared. Tristan, what exactly is your relationship with that girl Scarlet? He replied with just one word, friends, then he tossed his phone aside and went to sleep. On the other end, Lily was absolutely losing it. Friends, what kind of friends go out to eat at the divine zenith? Are you two that close? Tristan, answer me, where are you? She spammed him endlessly. Seeing he wasn't responding, she threw her phone in a rage and went to bed angry. The next morning, he checked his phone, 26 unread messages. He rolled his eyes. Is this girl a psycho? He ignored them all and opened his chat with Scarlet, simply sending good morning. Scarlet's reply was instant, good morning, Tristan. Meanwhile, Lily wakes up, checks her phone, and sees 0 messages from Tristan. She starts overthinking. Maybe she'd been too cold to him in the past. After a moment, she comes to a decision, marching to the supermarket and buying a pair of black fishnet stockings. She mutters to herself, Tristan Locke, I refuse to believe you can resist this. Elsewhere at Vanessa's breakfast shop, she flashes a sweet smile, introducing Damian to her family. Mom, Dad, this is Damian, my classmate. He's here to help out. Her parents look totally bewildered. Help with what? Vanessa says with a straight face, with the business, of course. Damian puts on his most sincere face. Uncle, Auntie, I'm extremely passionate about making breakfast. Just teach me the ropes, and I promise I can help make the absolute best breakfast around. Before her parents can even answer, Vanessa's brother, Victor, just laughs. Hey buddy, are you for real? Making breakfast looks simple, but it takes real skill. You ever even studied cooking? Nope, Damian replies. I've never even cooked rice before. Victor keeps working, tossing the words over his shoulder. Then forget it. Our shop might be in a slump, but we don't need your help. Vanessa, take your friend and go. Mom, Dad, and I are busy here, but Damian doesn't get angry at the dismissal. He just keeps that faint smile, that classic, slightly crooked protagonist smirk. Vanessa, however, is furious with her brother's tone. Victor, what are you saying? Damian is incredibly talented. Then she pleads with her parents. Mom, Dad, just teach him. We seriously need his help right now. Her dad looks confused. Why do we need help? The shop isn't facing any huge crisis. What are you talking about? Her mom gets impatient. All right, Vanessa. Here's $100. Go take your friend and have some fun. Vanessa is at a total loss. How could she possibly explain that she caused a massive disaster by angering a rich psycho who is now paying people double to buy from their competitors? All in a deliberate attempt to bankrupt them. She's so stressed out, she can't even speak. Her family, completely oblivious, just keeps on working. Right then, a customer walks up. Boss, 2 meat buns, 2 plain, and a soy milk, coming right up. That'll be $5, her dad says happily, but a voice suddenly cuts in from the side. Hey man, I'll give you $10 if you buy that from the shop next door. The customer freezes, immediately on guard. Why? The guy answers bluntly, I've got a beef with this place. As long as they don't make a single cent, I don't care how much cash I burn. Vanessa's entire family is frozen solid. The customer, feeling like he just won the lottery, carefully takes the $10 and goes next door. And it wasn't a one-off thing. Several more customers arrive only to get paid to leave. All of them are beaming. One guy even asks, "Hey, is this happening every day?" The man nods, grinning wide. "You know it. Rest assured, as long as you don't buy from this shop, you can get free cash from me daily. The amount might change, but I've got plenty of money to burn." Vanessa's family is paralyzed in shock. They just blink as over a dozen customers snatch the free cash and walk away. Victor grits his teeth. What kind of scum came up with this dirty trick? Is it the bun shop next door, or the noodle place across the street? "This is way over the line," her dad growls. "HMPH, let's see how long they can keep this up." He just kept handing out free money, basically throwing cash into the street. Were they insane? But Vanessa was completely terrified. She stammered, "Dad, it's not the other shops. It's a rich heir named Tristan Locke. He's insanely wealthy. Burning money like this for a few months or years means nothing to him." Victor was stunned. "What?" her dad demanded. "Why is this rich heir targeting us?" "Vanessa, what exactly is going on here? Explain yourself." Interrogated by her dad, Vanessa was just too scared to speak. Her mom urged her on anxiously. "Spit it out, what happened?" Victor jumped in. "Who did you tick off this time? Tell us." As Vanessa stumbled over her words, Damian, the protagonist, calmly stepped forward, flashing his signature smile. "Uncle, Auntie, let me explain. It's really not a big deal." Before he could finish, Victor snapped, "Shut your mouth. Who are you to butt into our family's business?" But Vanessa, fiercely protective of Damian, shot back, "Victor, watch your mouth. Damian is my friend. If you insult him again, I'm cutting you off." Damian then explained what happened, conveniently leaving out all the parts about Lily taking gifts and borrowing money from him. He twisted the story to make Vanessa sound like a hero who accidentally offended an arrogant rich kid. Her family looked absolutely sick. Her dad sighed heavily. "Vanessa, if you have nothing better to do, why are you causing trouble?" Her mom added, "Why provoke someone like that?" "Some powerful family," Victor asked. "So what do we do now?" Damian opened his mouth to speak, but a cold voice interrupted. "Damian, are you absolutely sure you are telling us the truth?" Her dad interrupted again, his face a mask of misery as he sighed, internally cursing his daughter. What kind of female lead fantasy was she living in? How can a normal girl possibly fight a mega-rich heir? If they knew Damian actually did nothing wrong and Vanessa was entirely to blame, they'd probably want to beat her senseless. These past few days, Vanessa's mom had been so stressed out she almost fainted. The impact on their family was catastrophic. Normal people simply can't survive this kind of financial warfare. At the university, the breakfast shop incident had become legendary gossip. "Did you hear? Tristan Locke is destroying Vanessa's breakfast shop. It even made the local news. I went there 2 days ago and made $60 just for standing there. Why didn't you tell me? I want free money, too." More and more people lined up, all of them taking the cash and skipping Vanessa's shop. Her parents watched in agony as crowds took the free money and bought breakfast from their competition. The biggest insult was when people came by, not to buy food, but just to say, "Hey, your shop is awesome. Thanks to you guys, I made a few $100." Her dad was reduced to begging. "Please, sir, buy a breakfast to help us out. We haven't had a single customer in days. I can't take this anymore. We'll go bankrupt at this rate." Vanessa just looked like a nervous wreck, too scared to speak for days, terrified her parents would actually hit her. Damian's confidence completely morphed into anxiety. He thought this was his golden chance to rise up, but it was all derailed by a single, brutal financial attack. He hadn't figured out a counter-strategy yet. But he quickly calmed himself down, thinking he just needed someone famous to endorse his food. Damian was overly confident in his cooking skills. However, since he was still a total nobody without connections, he thought about asking Lily for some help. Surely her beauty, he excitedly texted her. "Lily, are you free? Can you do me a quick favor?" Back in class, Lily was confused but listened as he explained the situation. She quickly understood, feeling Tristan was being way too cruel to her best friend. Plus, seeing Tristan get close to Scarlet a few days ago had already rubbed her the wrong way. So she decided to step in. Meanwhile, Damian thought, "Tristan, I refuse to believe. You don't care about Lily anymore." Just then, his phone buzzed. It was Lily's reply. "No problem, leave it to me, I'll handle it." Damian was ecstatic. Until his brain processed that one word, handle. Wait, is she going to talk to Tristan? Oh no, absolutely not. He frantically spammed her with messages, trying to stop her. But Lily simply ignored them. After class, she changed into a fresh JK uniform. She paired the skirt with black fishnets, then strutted right across campus. An absolute head-turner, leaving fanboys practically drooling. Wow, she is gorgeous. That's Lily Vance, the campus belle. Tristan dumped her. Man, his loss. Hearing all the praise, Lily couldn't help but feel smug. HMPH Tristan. I don't believe you can resist me looking like this. And then, she spotted him. Tristan was leaning against a railing, looking effortlessly cool, waiting for someone. Her heart skipped a beat. He's still so handsome, just as good-looking as Damian, maybe even more. She was just about to walk over when a roaring engine shattered the campus peace. A fiery red supercar drifted to a halt right in front of Tristan. The crowd gasped. A stunning redhead emerged, her long legs immediately becoming the center of attention. The whispers ignited. Is that Tristan's new girlfriend? Rich kids have it all. She's an absolute bombshell. She's easily on par with Lily Vance. Hearing this, Lily felt her soul just drain from her body. That redhead was Scarlet Sterling. Lily could not believe her eyes. Scarlet walked straight up to Tristan. And he smiled. To everyone watching, they looked like the ultimate power couple. Lily's competitive spirit flared. Am I losing to her? No, Tristan must be faking this. A wave of guilt for Damian hit her, but she just couldn't help herself now. She rationalized it away. I'm only doing this to help Damian negotiate with Tristan to spare Vanessa's family, armed with this noble cause. Lily gathered her courage and walked over, assuming Tristan bought the supercar. She figured he'd bought it for Scarlet, assuming she was just some ordinary girl. But when Tristan dated Lily, his gifts were only worth a few $100,000. Now he'd just met Scarlet and was already buying her a brand new supercar. The unfairness of it all was overwhelming. Her jealousy spiked, feeling like he never truly loved her. As she got closer, she caught the end of their conversation. Tristan, the money is transferred. I'm looking forward to the good news. Scarlet said, if you need more, just say the word. No problem, Scarlet, he replied. He answered smoothly, stick with me and I'll make you filthy rich. Scarlet smirked, hey, you're my underling, you call me boss. Tristan just chuckled. Yes, boss Scarlet. Just then, he noticed Lily standing right behind Scarlet. She looked like something out of a painting. He had to admit, Lily was top tier. The black fishnets, long legs, an innocent face paired with that short JK skirt. It was a lethal mix of innocent and seductive, and her pitiful expression was enough to drive most men wild, but for Tristan, he felt absolutely nothing. Because Scarlet, standing right in front of him, wasn't losing to her by a single point. Noticing Tristan's gaze, Scarlet turns around and the two women lock eyes. Lily flinches for a second but holds her ground. Tristan, I need to talk, can we go somewhere? She had no idea about their money talk and didn't realize who she was facing. She only knew she had to fix Damian's problem. Scarlet was just a pretty face to her. But Tristan replies coldly, whatever you need to say, you can say it right here. Lily glances at Scarlet, who glares back like ice. Inside, Scarlet's mind is racing. This girl gives off hostile vibes. She definitely likes Tristan, but does he like her back? Unwilling to lose her dominant position, Scarlet simply stands tall and waits. Tristan, Lily begins, about Vanessa's family and their breakfast shop. I apologize on her behalf. Can you please just let them off? Please, do it for me. Scarlet looks completely lost. Breakfast shop, which one? Tristan, however, replies flatly. No, Lily, she started it. Or did you forget how arrogant she was that day? demanding I pay your bills, telling me I had to pay whether I wanted to or not. Does a simple apology fix that? Lily grows anxious, but I'm apologizing for her. Isn't that enough? She asks, feeling incredibly wronged. Scarlet just rolls her eyes. What is wrong with this girl? She thinks. Is she actually brain damaged? Tristan scoffs. If apologies worked, what would we even need the police for? But in truth, he'd vented enough. Vanessa was a nobody, a minor character in his grand plan. Seeing Lily look so pathetic, though, sparks a brand new idea in his mind. Just then, Lily grits her teeth, making what she thinks is the ultimate sacrifice. Fine, Tristan. I agree to date you. Is that enough? She says it loud enough for the whole crowd to hear. Everyone gasps, the gossip erupts instantly, but Tristan just smiles calmly. And he replies, no, why would I want to date you? Not interested, find someone else. The crowd is stunned into silence. Lily herself can't believe her ears when it finally hits her. She just stares in absolute horror. Tristan, you're rejecting me. He remains perfectly composed. Just because you agree to date me, I'm supposed to accept. What kind of backwards logic is that, if you don't have anything important to say? Then stop bothering me. I'm busy talking to Scarlet right now. Lily is frozen solid, completely traumatized. She genuinely thought that she was the one. The only girl in his heart, only to be shot down in the most brutal way possible. Tears well up. You liked me, she whispers. I just said yes. How can you reject me? But before she can finish, Scarlet has had enough of the drama. She cuts in coldly. Hey. Tristan told you not to bother us. Are you deaf if you're not going to leave? Then I have no problem helping you. Scarlet's ice-cold tone is a world apart. From how she acted with Tristan, Lily looks at him, desperate like a trapped animal. Tristan, she's threatening me. Aren't you going to say something? But he just stares. Why are you still standing here? He asks blankly. Didn't you hear what Scarlet said? And inside, Scarlet is thrilled. He really is over her, she realizes, just as Tristan. Turns back to her, Lily grits her teeth one last time. Fine, what exactly do I have to do? For you to spare Vanessa's family. A smile plays on Tristan's lips. This is amusing. He steps closer and whispers his condition. Tell Damian Stone to get on his knees. And apologize to me. Do that and I'll let them go. Lily panics. This is the first time she has ever felt this kind of genuine, suffocating pressure from him. Trembling, she agrees. Okay, I'll try to talk to Damian. You better keep your promise. Tristan simply turns and walks away with Scarlet, leaving Lily to stare at his retreating back. Out but no words came. Deep down, she knew Tristan's status was now completely eclipsing Damian's. Meanwhile, Damian waited anxiously for any news from Lily. The woman he loved was talking to Tristan, and the thought drove him crazy. Just then, his phone buzzed. He quickly opened it, hoping for good news. A smile on his face, but then he read the text, his expression frozen. Damian, could you please kneel and apologize to Tristan? If you do, he'll let Vanessa's family go. He promised. Can you help? Lily's tone was as submissive and desperate as possible. But those words made Damian see red. If it wasn't Lily texting, he would have smashed something. Make Damian Stone kneel. You have a death wish. Damian was absolutely livid. But you know, as the righteous main character with a harem and endless plot armor, he couldn't blame Lily. So all his seething hatred fell squarely on Tristan. That bastard Tristan, making my sweet Lily suffer like this. This isn't over. I'll get revenge for you, Lily. Damian just gritted his teeth, furious at his own weakness. With more time, Tristan would be nothing to him. He took a breath and replied, Lily, don't worry, I'll handle it. Kneeling to Tristan is not my style. I have another way to help Vanessa's family. You just rest. That message jolted Lily right back to reality. She had already left campus, hiding in a corner while she read his message. And then she flinched. What am I doing? Why did I even consider making Damian kneel to Tristan? Could it be he's really not as good as Tristan? Then she opened Tristan's info and sent a text. Tristan, I'm asking one last time. Are you going to let Vanessa's family go or not? If you keep this up, Damian won't let you off. Reading that, Tristan actually laughed out loud. Was she delusional? How could Damian possibly rise up now? He decided to tell Scarlet about the whole breakfast shop drama. Scarlet laughed. Tristan, this is hilarious. Why didn't you invite me to watch? She blushed, glancing at him. Tristan, do you really not have any feelings left for Lily? Tristan looked right at her with real affection. Not one drop. A woman like that isn't worth a second of my time. Scarlet just beamed. Exactly. She doesn't deserve everything you did for her. So Tristan texted Lily back. Sure thing, I'll be waiting for him. That text made Lily furious. Phone off, teeth grinding. Just wait until Damian shines. We'll see how arrogant you are then. Before Lily ever came to find him, Scarlet confirmed the 50 million was in. Tristan was ecstatic. He decided to start buying up real estate in Cloud City. Originally, he just wanted to buy the cheaper properties, but with 60 million total, he could aim way higher. Scarlet didn't even care if she lost it all, which made Tristan appreciate her that much more. Compare that to Damian. He had a system, but was still struggling and stressing over pennies. Tristan, meanwhile, was playing on God mode. Lily, out of options, decided to help Damian personally. So she went to Vanessa's shop to taste Damian's cooking. She put on a fake smile. Wow, Damian, this food is amazing. Damian was ecstatic. Lily, it's all on you now. If you help promote the shop, we'll absolutely get through this. She nodded, sure her good looks would bring in huge crowds. But then days went by, and barely any customers showed up. Lily, Damian, and Vanessa's family was completely baffled. Why? Because right next door, Tristan's free money at his booth, Tristan put up a brand new sign, a lottery. Win 20, 50, or 100 times the cash. Damian was stunned. Victor's jaw dropped. 100 times, I want to try my luck too. Vanessa's family sank into despair. This whole situation was completely ridiculous. 100 times the prize meant someone could win over $1,000. He was burning through tens of thousands a day. They had no choice but to give up. Vanessa's parents decided to move their shop somewhere else. They couldn't compete with this. Vanessa had no other option but to bow her head and give him an apology. Her parents knew. They realized the terrifying truth of fighting a billionaire heir who would casually burn thousands a day just to destroy a tiny little breakfast stall. It was completely insane. But his actions left the family in a state of absolute terror and despair. As for Damian, well, he's the protagonist. A few small setbacks weren't going to destroy him. At the very least, he finished his cooking quest and managed to level up his skills. Right now, all he wanted was to level up fast enough to absolutely crush Tristan. 30 years east, 30 years west. You should never underestimate a poor young man. And right on cue, the system's voice chimed inside his head, announcing a new quest. The main quest, find Crystal Snow and create an indie game with her. The reward for this: $100,000 plus master-level programming skills, but that wasn't all. A side quest, pinch Crystal Snow's cheek for a reward of basic computer science knowledge. Another side quest, successfully date Crystal Snow and get $10,000. And another, hug Crystal Snow for over 10 seconds to earn some basic writing skills. And yet another, confess your feelings to Crystal Snow at just the right time. The reward for that, upgraded drawing skills. Finally, a pool date with Crystal Snow. Seeing her in a swimsuit would grant him upgraded acting skills. This was a flood of quests. Seeing all these pop up, Damian smiled with total confidence. All his worries just vanished. Having a system like this was the ultimate cheat code. These quests were practically free money. Damian already knew Crystal Snow. They had geeked out over coding before, and he'd even helped her out. He had chased away a bully for her once. They had a pretty solid friendship going on. So he figured completing these quests would be an absolute walk in the park. He started to get incredibly excited. Once this game is a hit, I'll turn the tables on him. Tristan, just you wait. I'll crush you and make you beg Lily for her forgiveness. In his mind, Damian felt completely justified. Getting closer to Crystal wasn't cheating at all. He never even considered how it might hurt Lily. He just assumed she would understand everything. As for Vanessa's apologies, Tristan couldn't care less. Vanessa was in tears. "Tristan, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I was completely out of line." He coldly reminded her, "It's too late for apologies. Do I look like I have time for your games?" In her utter despair, Vanessa did something that genuinely caught Tristan off guard. She started to unbutton her shirt. He immediately jumped back. "What in the world are you doing?" Crying, she begged him, "Tristan, I will give myself to you. Just please, I'm begging you, let my family go." But he quickly put a stop to it. "Stop acting. You really think I want anything you have to offer? What happened to all that arrogance? Weren't you the one demanding I pay for Lily's entire life?" He was purposely rubbing it in. Vanessa hung her head low. "I'm sorry, I was so stupid. You didn't owe Lily a single thing. You treated her so well, and she didn't even appreciate it. I'm truly sorry for everything." Those words completely shattered what was left of Vanessa's pride, seeing her crying on her knees. Well, it put Tristan in an amazing mood. He decided to stop messing with her for now. Vanessa quickly pulled her shirt back down, completely stunned. She genuinely believed she wasn't desirable. She assumed a rich kid like him was a total pervert, yet he had acted like a perfect gentleman, shattering her entire worldview. Subconsciously, she even formed a small crush on him. Walking home, her mind wasn't on Damian, it was on the protagonist. Why didn't he want her? Was she not pretty enough? Lost in thought, she stopped dead. She saw two people walking side by side up ahead. It was Damian and Crystal Snow. In the original story, Vanessa would have run up and greeted them happily. She might have felt a bit jealous, but she would never have blamed Damian. But now all she felt was disgust. A date with another girl, what about Lily? Vanessa's worldview crumbled yet again. Suddenly, a pleasant voice echoed behind her. "Vanessa, wasn't Damian your knight in shining armor? Even seeing him now, you just think he's that excellent, right?" Vanessa flinched. She finally realized just how twisted her thinking was. She thought she only loved one person. All while Damian flirted with Lily and was now openly dating somebody else. Even if they hadn't done anything, walking so intimately in a park this late at night was crossing a line. What about Lily? Vanessa was furious. Damian was completely in the wrong. If Lily found out, what would happen? After a moment, she did something impulsive, snapping a picture and sending it right to Lily. "Lily, look, Damian is strolling around with another girl." Vanessa knew they basically acted like a couple. Damian always swore he loved his sweet Lily. The shock came when Lily replied almost instantly, "So what? Damian is so amazing. It's totally normal for other girls to be around him. It's fine. But that jerk dared to sneak out with someone. Just wait until I deal with him." Reading that reply, Vanessa was speechless. "Lily, you're not even mad." Her mental state completely collapsed. All her goodwill for Damian vanished. She fought her family for him, fought our protagonist for Lily, and ruined her own life. Now she had no idea what to do. Ultimately, Vanessa was a minor side character. When Lily was bullied, Damian would play the hero, but Vanessa was just a step on his path. Once he couldn't use her shop, he dropped her instantly and moved on to Crystal Snow. Crystal, meanwhile, was completely falling for Damian's gentle act, finding him incredibly charming. In the half-month they'd known each other, she saw him as responsible, smart, and radiant. She wanted to be closer. Crucially, he hadn't tried anything shady yet, which only made her want to drop hints. In the park, Damian suggested they make a game together. Crystal's eyes lit up. "Really, Damian, you want to make a game with me?" "That's exactly what I was thinking," Damian boasted. "With your help, we'll make a national hit. We might even go global." Thanks to his system, he was fearless. Crystal, oblivious to his cheat code, trusted him without a doubt. "I believe in you, Damian." While Damian and Crystal were getting closer, the protagonist's life was much more peaceful. According to the original plot, he should have been texting Lily to check on her. But since he stopped chasing her, his life was fantastic. He even went to Cloud City with Scarlet's 50 million, taking Bruno and Tyson to negotiate real estate. Friends knew he was the lock heir and fast-tracked everything, saving him tons of hassles. Damian was supposed to buy that rundown. Damian was supposed to have cash from saving Vanessa's shop and borrowing more from his girls, but this time Vanessa gave him nothing and Lily was asking for cash. And Tristan flatly refused, so yeah, Damian was broke, plus he still owed Tristan 100 grand. If he didn't pay up, he couldn't buy the property. He had to target Crystal just to get system rewards, or else he couldn't even pay off his massive debt. As for Tristan, when buying the main building, he conveniently snatched up all the cheap surrounding houses too. The total cost over 30 million. Business done, he headed back to the Lock Mansion where Theodore and Margaret were ecstatic hearing Scarlet invested 50 million in him that very night. Scarlet and Tristan had dinner at the Divine Zenith. He laid out his entire plan. The whole real estate sweep. Scarlet listened, completely mesmerized. Finally, he joked, "Sister Scarlet, aren't you worried I'll mess up and lose all your money?" He upgraded her status to sister, securing that sweet villainous protection, and Scarlet, she just laughed. "No way, you're my guy. What is there to fear if you lose it all? You just tell me, I'll get more." Then she raised her wine glass. Her radiant smile stunned him. He didn't hide his next move. "Sister Scarlet, I'm eyeing the Mirage Bar next. My plan is to buy it." In the original story, Damian actually rented this bar because the owner, Morgana, had taken a liking to him. Morgana wasn't a main heroine, just another girl falling for Damian's act. She was over 30, perpetually single, a fierce boss lady with zero interest in men. But when Damian beat up some thugs harassing her, she fell for him in days. And yeah, Tristan thought that plot point was just ridiculous. Single for decades, then falls in love in 3 days. That was a complete slap in the face to logic. Female leads and side characters were basically brain dead for the protagonist, but whatever. He just wanted to buy the bar and cut off Damian's easy money route. Scarlet supported him 100%. "Go for it. If you run out of cash, I got you covered." Her generosity genuinely moved him. "Sister Scarlet, you are absolutely the best." After dinner, he played the perfect gentleman and took Scarlet right home. Meanwhile, Damian was quietly building his little empire with Crystal, totally forgetting about Lily. And Lily, she just thought it was normal for Damian to have other girls around, telling herself she just had to work harder. Unbelievable. Tristan honestly admired her ability to get cheated on and stay perfectly serene. What surprised him was Lily still hadn't woken up from the delusion that she could still control him. A few days before, Lily treated her roommates to a meal, but overordered, racking up a $700 to $800 bill. One clueless roommate ordered expensive seafood. Lily was too embarrassed to stop her, but she panicked inside. Then the bill came. A roommate suggested, "Lily, just call Tristan. Doesn't he always pay for you?" Suddenly, Lily had an idea. Sure, things were rocky, but a few $100 was pocket change to him. She grew confident, thinking this was the perfect excuse for him to apologize. She texted, "Tristan, I treated my roommates but don't have enough money. Can you cover it? It's just a few $100. Tristan was chilling when he saw it. He just stared at the screen. "You treat your friends without money, and that's somehow my problem." He tossed the phone aside, ignoring her. Lily went from smug to anxious. "Tristan, did you see this?" She sent more texts. No reply. Her roommates watched. It was no use. She finally called, only to hear, "Sorry, the number you have dialed is busy." Lily was stunned. Tristan had blocked her. She had to beg Vanessa for a loan. Vanessa's attitude was different now, but she still lent her the money. Leaving the restaurant, Lily complained, "Tristan is so petty. He won't even help with a few $100. Vanessa just muttered, "You think he's actually serious about Scarlet now?" Lily noticed Vanessa acting weird, but just grumbled and let it go. Next up, buying the Mirage Bar. Located near the university, it wasn't huge, but business was booming. All thanks to Morgana, the gorgeous owner who drew a crowd. She had some tough guys backing her, so trouble was rare. Now in the original story, some drunk outsiders started a mess. Damian stepped in, knocked them out, and Morgana was immediately smitten. But to Damian, she was just another conquest, fading from the story not long after. Morgana even ended up renting the bar to him, letting him make an absolute fortune. Tristan was here to kill that storyline. Without his system's cheat codes, Damian was in for a rude awakening. Walking into the Mirage bar, Tristan immediately spotted the woman with wavy black hair at the counter. Her outfit was turning heads. "I'm used to it," she said coldly, not even looking up. Welcome. When she finally looked up and saw Tristan, she frowned. He looked familiar. A bartender whispered, "Boss Morgana, I think that's the rich kid, Tristan Locke," and then Morgana remembered. She had heard of him, the stubborn rich kid who'd chased a girl for years. Being a self-made woman, working her way up from waitressing since her teens, she utterly despised spoiled brats who relied on their parents. She assumed he was a playboy who treated women like toys. She even felt a little bad for Lily, assuming he'd just use and then dump her. She figured he had a line of women, just like Vanessa used to think. Neither of them realized that in the original novel, Damian was the real human bulldozer, conquering every single girl in sight. And that is exactly why Tristan couldn't be bothered with these brain-dead female leads. He smiled at her. "One cocktail, please." Morgana replied coldly, "Sorry, we're out." "Okay, a cold beer then." She still didn't look at him. "Out of that, too." Tristan raised an eyebrow. "Then what do you have?" "Tap water, you want some?" He was speechless. Going to a bar and being offered tap water, what is your problem? He asked, "Did I offend you somehow?" Morgana finally looked up, sneering. "Does a rich heir like you really need to drink at my tiny bar?" "Spit it out, what do you want?" She had an empty bottle ready to smash over his head if he said one thing out of line. She didn't care about the Locke family. She wasn't easily bullied. Any man who hit on her usually met a painful end. But Tristan remained completely calm. "I actually think this place is great. The decor is nice. It's quiet, just my style. I heard the boss makes killer cocktails, so I wanted to try one. But if you have nothing, I'll leave." Morgana froze. Wait, this rich kid isn't here to harass her. She realized he came alone, not exactly the setup for causing trouble. Suddenly, she felt like she was being totally unreasonable. Flustered, she stammered, "Wait, so you really just came for a drink?" Her icy exterior melted away, revealing a flustered, slightly embarrassed side. Tristan had to hold back a smile. Obviously, who goes to a bar for tap water? Morgana caught his teasing tone but didn't get mad. She just smiled awkwardly. "Oh, my apologies. Your young Master Locke, right? Please sit. I'll make a cocktail for you myself. Don't take this the wrong way." She suddenly felt he was different from the usual rich kids. She eagerly gestured for him to sit. Locke glanced around the bar. He could feel the eyes on him. Soon, Morgana slid a pale blue cocktail his way. He took a sip. Perfect. The owner's skills were definitely top-notch. Morgana felt a spark of pride, so he really did just come to drink. Her first impression of him was slowly changing. Even if he was labeled a villain, it's not like she was going to fall for him instantly. And then, the bar doors were kicked wide open. A group of loud, drunk men stumbled right inside. The one with a blonde mohawk shouted, "Boss lady, get us some cold ones." Morgana's brow furrowed. She didn't mind customers, but drunks always meant trouble. As she turned for the beers, the mohawk guy grabbed her wrist. "Damn, your hands are soft. Why don't you party with me tonight, beautiful? I've got money." She yanked her hand back, absolutely furious. But before she could erupt, Locke grabbed a beer bottle, walked over, and smashed it clean over the thug's head. Crash. The rest of the bar, who were just watching the show, now had looks of wicked satisfaction. They weren't worried for Locke at all. They pitied the newcomers. These idiots just messed with Tristan Locke. They were so dead. Everyone in the bar whispered, assuming he stepped in to protect Morgana. And she thought the exact same thing. Since he hadn't made a single creepy move, she no longer believed he was just there for a drink. Seeing him handle these thugs for her completely changed the way she saw him. Now she wanted to see his next move. Bruno and Tyson stormed in, throwing a series of punches that left the thugs broken. Locke gave a cold order, "Get them out of here. Far away, don't ruin her business." He knew if the original hero, Damian, were here, Morgana would be saying, "Thank you, little brother. How can I possibly repay you?" And Damian, playing the hero, would ask for a drink. Morgana would be smitten, lighting him to a dark booth. In the novel, she even slipped off her shoes and started playing footsie with him. But right now, Morgana bit her lip and spoke softly. "Thank you, young Master Locke. To show my gratitude, drinks are on the house tonight." Seeing the perfect opportunity, Locke replied, "There's no need for that. I'm actually here to discuss a business proposal with you, if you have a moment." Morgana's smile faded. She knew this guy wasn't simple. Her guard shot up instantly. "A deal? What kind of deal?" He didn't waste any time. "I want to buy this bar." Morgana was floored. As much as she loved her bar, she was a businesswoman first. And she loved money way more. A huge payout meant she could finally retire. She was exhausted after so many years, but no one had ever actually tried to buy the bar from her. They always tried to buy her instead. "Oh, really?" She asked carefully, "And how much is young Master Locke offering?" If he lowballed her, she was ready to flip the table, but his next words shattered her expectations. 10 million. That number left Morgana completely speechless. The caution in her eyes melted away. It was replaced by an intense, friendly glow. She couldn't believe her luck. 10 million was an insane amount, far more than the bar was actually worth. If the deal went through, she would become a multimillionaire in an instant. On top of that, he had just saved her without asking for anything in return. Grateful, he was offering her the deal of a lifetime, but Morgana wasn't completely blinded by greed just yet. Her smile faded. 10 million, are you joking? This bar isn't worth nearly that much. You must have other conditions, right? Locke's expression turned serious. Yes, just one other condition. Morgana's mind raced. Aha, I knew it. He's after me, isn't he? Good thing she kept that thought to herself, or he would have just walked out. What condition? She asked. His face was a perfect mask. The condition is, for 1 full year after this transaction, only you are allowed to use this money. You cannot lend it out or invest it. Deal? Morgana stared, bewildered, and then overjoyed. That's it, he nodded. This one move cut off Damian's easiest path to cash off this bar. His chances of finding another one were practically zero, since the system had pointed him directly to this place. Let's sign the contract. He snapped his fingers. Bruno and Tyson entered, handing Morgana the contract. She scanned the pages in disbelief. The only strange clause was the no lending and investing rule. Morgana was single, barely making ends meet to spend on herself. She wasn't planning to lend it out. After a year, the cash was all hers. If she broke the contract, she'd have to pay him back 5 times the amount. Morgana signed instantly. Locke smiled, satisfied. Pleasure doing business with you, Ms. Morgana. The funds will be transferred shortly. Please arrange for the bar's handover. Morgana looked at him, her eyes filled with emotion. Suddenly she realized he wasn't repulsive at all. In fact, her heart skipped a beat. As he turned to leave, she suddenly blurted out, "Young Master Locke, if you don't mind, let's grab a drink in that corner booth." Her intention was crystal clear. In the original plot, that's the exact spot where she and Damian kicked off their romance. She was extremely confident in her charms. Very few men could resist a woman like her, but Locke's answer was simple. "No thanks, Ms. Morgana, I have to be somewhere." Morgana froze, completely stunned by the rejection. She stood there, completely still, as he walked out the door without a single glance back. A flash of anger hit her. What is with him? Am I completely unattractive to him? She remembered being so defensive when he first arrived, assuming he was just some creep. Turns out he had zero interest in her whatsoever. The embarrassment stung deep, and her eyes reddened. It was the first time she'd ever been so blatantly rejected. She swore to herself she would get her pride back. As for Locke, he left the bar completely unfazed, not giving Morgana a second thought. Buying that bar was simply one move to suppress the protagonist. There was still a lot more to do. Damian's system was insanely overpowered. It gave him endless chances, meaning he only needed one win to become a tycoon. His next target, Crystal Snow. He knew she and Damian were currently developing the indie game that would make his fortune. Locke couldn't let him have that either. But Damian wasn't backing down. As the protagonist, he was already plotting his comeback. "Tristan, just you wait," he muttered with determination. "I will surpass you soon." His system immediately issued a new quest, one related to the bar Locke just bought. Damian grinned. He knew the system made success a guarantee. "I have cheats, how can you fight me?" After taking Crystal home, he texted Lily. "Lily, what are you doing?" "I miss you." A smile touched Lily's lips, but as she typed her reply, she remembered the photo Vanessa sent Damian with another girl. She'd told Vanessa it was fine, but the reality was a slap in the face. He was just cozying up to someone else, and now he claims he misses her. Was this the Damian she knew? She questioned why she'd ever like a guy like this. A wave of disgust washed over her. She refused to lower her standards. Closing her phone without a reply, her thoughts turned to Tristan. Regret hit hard. Why did she reject Tristan? She could be in a Rolls-Royce, living a dream life. Instead, she was stuck eating cheap street food with Damian. Even if he got rich, he'd be surrounded by women. Why would she want to join that harem? But Damian wasn't bothered by Lily's silence. He planned to finish his quests with Crystal and then hit the Mirage bar. Meanwhile, news about Tristan buying the bar for $10 million was sweeping across the entire campus. The juicy rumor that he rejected a drink from the hot new owner reached Scarlet. She found Tristan and approached him with a smile. "Heard you turned down a drink from a super hot bar owner." He kept his expression neutral. "Yeah, what about it?" Scarlet tried to act casual. "Oh, nothing," but inside she was ecstatic. Tristan chuckled. "Why? Are you planning to buy me a drink instead?" Scarlet blushed. "Could I?" He played along with it. "Of course, my treat tonight." "Let's go celebrate the new bar," he offered. Scarlet immediately lit up. "Your treat, you're my underling. The boss pays. You tell me what you want to eat." "It's on me," she insisted. Tristan sighed, switching tactics. "Sister Scarlet, the $10 million for the bar was all your money. Just let me treat you this one time." Scarlet crossed her arms, feigning anger. "No, I'm here, you're not paying." "I'm the big sister. Are you saying I can't afford a meal?" Her pout was adorable. He couldn't help but stare as her cheeks turned red. He laughed, giving in. "All right, fine, I'll listen to you, Sister Scarlet." She flashed a brilliant smile. Then she suddenly reached out and playfully ruffled his hair. "Good boy. Just follow me, I'll take care of you." She looked absolutely overjoyed. It felt like their relationship had just leveled up, but back to Lily. She was an emotional wreck, remembering everything Tristan did for her. And when she heard he bought the Mirage bar for $10 million, she was floored. Could it be, did he do all of that just for her? Everything he did used to revolve around her, so she expected another grand gesture was coming soon. She refused to believe he was really over her, convinced he and Scarlet were faking. Drowning in regret, she realized Tristan was the perfect guy. Rich, handsome, and completely devoted, any other girl would have snatched him up by now. At the Mirage bar, Morgana was still fuming over Tristan's rejection. Standing before a mirror, she questioned her own looks. Even at 30, she was a total bombshell. This just made her more curious about him. Her conclusion: he must be a pure rich kid, not your typical playboy. A few days later, Damian finished his tasks and headed for the Mirage bar to complete his system quest. On the way, he heard Tristan spent $10 million. He couldn't believe it. The owner must have seduced him to get that money. He assumed Tristan wouldn't waste money for no reason. His grudge grew deeper. Damian walked into the bar, determined to save Morgana from Locke's clutches. Seeing Morgana, Damian's eyes lit up. The system sure knows how to pick them, he thought, flashing his classic protagonist smile. One cocktail, please. Usually that smile was a killer, but Morgana barely even looked at him. That will be $35, thanks, she said, completely deadpan. She felt nothing. Her mind was laser-focused on one person, Locke. Damian was shocked. He thought, wait, shouldn't the system make this easier? But he wasn't giving up. He sat down. Aren't you gonna offer a drink on the house? Gorgeous. Morgana snapped instantly. Offer you a drink? Are you kidding me? Who are you? Pay up or get out. Damian was totally bewildered. This never happened with Crystal, Lily, or Vanessa. Why was Morgana so incredibly hostile? He figured she must still be the owner, that Locke hadn't fully taken over the bar. He assumed Locke's 10 million offer even included buying Morgana herself. And that she had obviously said no, so Damian decided to play his trump card. $30,000 a month to rent this place, he announced with a bright smile. Wait, beautiful, just hear me out. You'll want to buy me that drink after this. Morgana's patience evaporated. Glaring at him, she said, did you not hear me? Get out or I am calling security. She had zero time for some guy who couldn't afford a $35 drink trying to act like a big shot. Damian panicked, dropping the act. Look, I've got a business proposal. Rent me the bar, and I guarantee I'll double your profits. He was so confident, she couldn't possibly resist. Morgana just figured he was crazy. Rent her bar to a complete stranger. She signaled her bouncers. Two huge guys moved in to drag Damian away. Hey, what are you doing? Damian yelled out. Don't you trust me, I promise. But as Damian struggled, he actually managed to knock both bouncers back. He straightened his jacket, probably thinking he looked like a total badass. But to Morgana, he was just some public disturbance, and right at that moment, she spotted Locke walking in. Young Master Locke, she called out, a little surprised. Are you here to take over the bar now? It was already his, of course. But she wanted to stick around and run it. Damian whipped around, glaring at Locke. He was completely convinced Locke was threatening her. Like any good protagonist, he decided it was time for justice. He lunged at Locke, aiming a kick, but before his foot got anywhere close, Tyson intercepted and sent him flying backward. Locke calmly looked down at Damian on the floor, then turned to Morgana. So boss, getting a little attached to this place. Before she could even answer, Damian scrambled up and charged him again. Locke didn't move an inch, just watching. And Damian completely face-planted. Locke didn't even flinch, turning back to Morgana. Well, do you miss it? Morgana smiled warmly. Of course not, you paid extra. I'm completely on board, thank you so much. You're seriously my savior. Her respectful tone left Damian absolutely dumbfounded. He almost choked. What, isn't Morgana supposed to be in my harem? System, what's happening? Am I getting screwed over? Heartbroken, Damian glared as Locke and Morgana chatted away happily. Unable to stand it, he yelled, Morgana, don't you be afraid of him. I will protect you. Morgana stared at him like he was an idiot. Afraid? Why would I ever be afraid of young Master Locke? Damian ignored her. He glared at Tristan. If you have a problem, come at me. Leave Morgana alone. The guy felt like a hero, but to Morgana, he just looked like an absolute clown. Are you not being blackmailed by him? Damian asked in shock. Morgana stared at him, disgusted. Blackmail. Tristan just gave her 10 million for the bar. She couldn't be more grateful. This guy was causing all the trouble. She turned to Tristan, her voice softening. Young Master Locke, do you know this guy? Tristan shrugged. Yeah, goes to my school. We've got some beef. Damian realized the situation was getting bad, and he prepared to bolt. But just then, a girl with long black hair walked in. It was Lily Vance. Everyone froze. She was clearly there about the bar, secretly hoping Tristan had prepared some kind of romantic surprise for her. She was stunned to see both him and Damian in the same room. Tristan was unmoved, but Damian was ecstatic, thinking his backup had arrived. He walked toward her, reaching for her hand while glaring at Tristan to provoke him. But Lily smoothly dodged his hand. Damian froze, his face a mask of utter confusion. Lily, what's wrong? Her reply was ice cold. We aren't that close, Damian. That sentence struck him like lightning. The guy just froze solid. Watching this play out, Tristan chuckled and turned to Morgana. "Miss Morgana, if you want to keep managing the place, go ahead. I'll pay you a salary." Hearing that, Lily was stunned, her face falling with pure disappointment. Suddenly, the unexpected happened. Lily stepped forward and reached out to hold Tristan's hand, but he smoothly dodged her, too. Just then, a fiery red supercar roared up to the entrance. A redhead with an aura of absolute dominance stepped out, leaving everyone in awe. Tristan really is on another level, another top-tier beauty. He saw Scarlet and couldn't help but smile. This was the ultimate face slap for Damian. Every one of his hopes was crushed. The scene was straight out of a sitcom. Damian tried to hold Lily's hand and got dodged. Lily tried to hold Tristan's hand and got dodged. Then Scarlet showed up. Damian just stared at her, drooling slightly. Even without the flashy car, she was just as stunning as Lily and Crystal. Lily, furious seeing him with yet another gorgeous girl, finally yelled, "Tristan, you say you like me, but you're flirting with other girls. You're disgusting." Damian, fueled by jealousy and his hero complex, decided to try his luck again. He approached Scarlet with his signature smile. "Hello, I'm Damian Stone. Can I get to know you, bam?" Before he even finished, Bruno rushed forward and punched Damian into next Tuesday. Tristan gave the signal, and Bruno and Tyson proceeded to beat him to a pulp until he couldn't even twitch. Scarlet looked down at Damian with pure disgust. "You're polluting his bar." Tristan was furious too. This Gary Stu had the audacity to hit on Scarlet right in front of him. Lily, watching the whole thing, lost her mind. "This guy just tried to hold my hand, and now he's hitting on another girl right in front of me." Absolutely vile. She finally saw Damian for what he was and couldn't believe she had ever simped for a guy like that. Morgana watched the beatdown, and her opinion of Damian hit rock bottom. Where does his overconfidence even come from? She completely lost all interest in him, potential or not. Damian tried to hype himself up. "I have a system. I'm supposed to save beauties from villains." In his mind, he was the hero, but Tristan just wanted to make that Scarlet was safe. In their minds, both Lily and Morgana wrote Damian off. But seeing Tristan leave with Scarlet, hand in hand, sent both women reeling. It was a complex mix of emotions. Does he actually love her? Lily wondered. "That redhead gets way more of his attention than I ever did," she fumed. Morgana just sighed. Seeing his opening, Damian decided to launch a surprise attack. A spinning kick meant to clear the crowd. He leaped, but landed looking pathetic. Just a messy, bruised disaster. He told himself these were merely trials from heaven. A test vowing to fight Tristan to the very end, but Tristan's total apathy drove him crazy. He was coughing up blood from the sheer humiliation. Morgana snapped. "Throw this trash out," she shouted. "What a mess." She was completely disgusted. Damian had lost all face, along with any protagonist aura he thought he had. The very next day, the incident at Mirage Bar was the hottest topic on campus. Everyone knew Damian from the software department got absolutely destroyed by Tristan's guys. This made Tristan's reputation sink even lower, especially with Crystal Snow. And Ariel Fisher, two of Damian's future admirers, they both had a massive crush. To them, only Damian was worthy. Tristan was just some disgusting, rich villain. The kind who uses his money to buy women, so incredibly shallow, both of them. Were furious about the beatdown. They visited Damian in the hospital and they vowed to make Tristan pay. Crystal, the white-haired tech genius, was already helping Damian code his new game. She was arrogant but acted like a docile kitten around him. Then there's Ariel Fisher, who Damian helped start Craft Shop thanks to his system-given ideas. Her little shop was absolutely booming. She was the rare tomboy goddess of the architecture department, known for a fiery temper. In the hospital, Damian looked pathetic until his two lackeys arrived. Chad and Kyle rushed in. Chad was a total coward, but Kyle was demanding blood. Damian told them to cool it. He had a plan. He was going to pivot his focus. It was time to use Crystal, Ariel, and his other connections to stage his comeback. Damian fully believed he was the chosen, overpowered protagonist of this world, he thought. Tristan was just some local rich kid, completely clueless that the world was full of massive, hidden aristocratic families. Scarlet, for instance, was the heiress to a terrifyingly powerful dynasty, though she kept a very low profile. This ignorance was going to cost Damian everything, lying there in his hospital bed. Surrounded by gorgeous girls, Damian finally felt like a real protagonist again. Crystal fretted over his injuries and cursed Tristan's name. Ariel scoffed at Tristan, placing all her trust in Damian. Surrounded by their care, his mood finally stabilized. His lackeys were just in awe of his charm, thinking it was totally normal for him to juggle multiple women. Meanwhile, Lily was an absolute mess. She went to the bar hoping for a spark, only to get rejected holding his hand. She started to seriously doubt if Tristan was truly over her. Morgana, on the other hand, kept running the bar for Tristan. She could leave, but she stayed, hoping to see him again and to figure out his relationship with the redhead. The next day, Tristan took Scarlet to Angel's Net, the most luxurious internet cafe in the entire city. Sitting down, he was a little thrown off. The games here were completely different from his previous world. Playing on a PC again made him nostalgic, but it also hammered home just how much potential he had here. "Hey Tristan, let's play Divine Gunner today," Scarlet said. Pro at this, Scarlet cheered enthusiastically, much to his surprise. He knew she was a closet gamer, but her hype was on another level. Honestly, she was just thrilled to be gaming with him. The game itself was a simple version of CSGO, and he adapted instantly. He was landing headshots left and right, completely blowing Scarlet's mind. She was the type with no skill but all the bossiness, screaming for him to carry her. They gamed all the way until 9 p.m. Scarlet was buzzing, talking a mile a minute on the drive home. Suddenly he asked her, "Scarlet, your birthday's coming up soon, right?" She blushed hard, clearly taken by surprise. She tried to play it cool. "Yeah, in about half a month." "Why?" But her eyes were sparkling with pure joy. He just wanted to confirm the date. "Just checking," he smiled, already planning a huge surprise for her. A girl this great deserved nothing but the best. Back home, Scarlet collapsed onto her bed, giddy with pure happiness. After 3 years of secret crushing, she finally saw a glimmer of hope, but then her phone buzzed, a text from Marcus. "Hey Scarlet, birthday's coming. I'm flying to Cloud City to celebrate with you. Be a good girl and wait for me. I'm your future boyfriend, don't be shy. We'll have so much fun, and wear those black stockings I like." Scarlet's face turned to ice. "Screw you," she tossed her phone aside. Even though the Sterling family was more powerful than the Marcus family, they still needed some of their resources, so she couldn't just cut him off completely. The text totally killed her vibe, but seeing his name pinned at the top of her chat list brought the smile right back. She'd deal with Marcus when she had to. Tristan, for his part, knew all about Marcus. In the original story, he shows up at her birthday to stir up some drama. To our main character, he was a total nobody, just another pawn in his master plan. But he had forgotten one crucial detail. Lily Vance had signed a 3-year unconditional contract with him. He needed her to work as a promoter for his new bar. Sitting on the couch, his mind wandered to another of Damian's girls, Chloe. She lived right in his neighborhood. In the novel, she was key to Damian's rise, but he couldn't figure out how a super-rich heiress like her fell for a literal street vendor. Meanwhile, Lily was on her bed, replaying the moment he dodged her hand. She felt so wronged. Could he really be over her? Just then her phone lit up, a message from him. Her face instantly brightened. "Lily, are you free right now? I need to see you about some business." Her eyes lit up. He needs to see her. He must want to apologize or ask to get back together. She knew it. He couldn't just let her go. She thought about ignoring him as punishment, but panicked, afraid he might actually give up for good if she pushed it too far. She quickly replied, "Of course I'm free, Tristan. Come on over." I'll wait for you downstairs. After sending it, she cheered to herself. Yes, Tristan is finally coming back. She had to cherish him this time. She grabbed her makeup, determined to look her absolute best. Even if it was just outside her dorm, she had to be perfect. She even pulled out her black fishnet stockings. Seeing her sudden burst of energy, her roommates got curious. Lily, are you going to see Damian? And you're wearing black stockings too. Lily immediately snapped back, Damian. Don't even say his name. We have absolutely zero to do with each other. Just thinking about Damian made her feel sick. Sick, she'd heard Damian was in the hospital, getting visits from tons of girls. What were they thinking? He was a complete two-timing jerk, but she was finally over it. She was done. Whoever wanted him could have him. She refused to be played for a fool. Not for anyone. Makeup done, she sprinted downstairs, and when Tristan saw her, he was impressed. He had to admit it, Lily was top tier. Long black hair, a flawless figure. And her legs, wrapped in black stockings and paired with simple black ballet flats. With a crisp white blouse and a dark blue skirt, she was the picture of perfection. The ultimate innocent yet seductive campus goddess. Before he could speak, she acted. Taking a deep breath, she tucked her hair back and blushed. Tristan, you came to see me. He kept his cool. I have a favor to ask you. Lily was secretly ecstatic. What is it? She asked. He kept it all business. You know, I just bought a bar. Business could be better. I want you to help me promote it. She froze. Me, promote it, but I don't know how. He just pulled out a poster design. It's easy, just dress up a bit like this and stand by the entrance. He'd even have a sign made with her picture on it. All she had to do was show up. Maybe have a drink with some customers now and then. Don't worry, he assured her. It's totally legit. Hearing this, Lily was stunned. Her face flushed, but this time. It was pure rage. Tristan, you want me to dress like that? The poster showed her. In a sexy Playboy bunny outfit. Look, she liked looking good and being a little provocative. But this was a line she wouldn't cross, standing at a bar door to lure men in. What did he take her for? Suddenly, a thought hit her. This was his twisted revenge. His way of getting back at her because he couldn't have her. He wanted to humiliate her. She thought of Damian. He would never ask this of her. Little did she know. In the original story, Damian had her wear all kinds of outfits just like this one. And she did it happily, all because she was in love. But now, she flat out refused him. Sorry, Tristan, I can't do this. It's too much. Any shred of goodwill she felt for him vanished.